who kept a letter in the top drawer of his dresser. It sat there for 23 years, unopened. The envelope had yellow with age. The corners were bent. The ink had faded. But he knew exactly what it was. He remembered the day it arrived. He was 22, angry, proud, certain he knew everything. The letter came from his father, a father he had not spoken to in years, a father he blamed for everything. The missed birthdays, the missed games, the broken promises, the empty seat at graduation. When the letter arrived, he stared at it for a long time. Then he tossed it in the drawer. Too late, he said. And that was that. So he thought. Years passed. He got older, built a career, built a family. His hair changed. His face changed. But every now and then, he would open that drawer and see that letter, still waiting. Some nights he thought about opening it, but he never did. Because as long as the letter stayed close, the story stayed the same. His father was guilty. He was the victim. Simple, clean, comfortable. But one evening, after putting his own son to bed, something happened. His son wrapped his arms around him and whispered, "Dad, you're my hero." The words hit him like a truck because suddenly he wasn't thinking like a son anymore. He was thinking like a father. And for the first time in his life, he wondered, what if there was something I never knew? That night, he opened the drawer. His hands trembled. The envelope cracked. And after 23 years, he opened the letter. Inside were only 2 pages. The first line read, "Son, if you're reading this, thank you for giving me a chance." The man stopped breathing for a moment. He kept reading. His father wrote about mistakes, failures, regrets, not excuses, not blame, but just truth. Then near the end, there was a sentence that shattered him. "I know I may never be forgiven, but I hope one day you will understand that broken people sometimes break the people they love most." The man stared at those words for a long time. Then he looked at the date. His father had written the letter 6 months before he passed. 6 months. For 23 years, he'd been carrying anger, protecting it, feeding it, building his identity around it, only to discover that healing had been sitting in a drawer the entire time. And then he realized something that changed his life forever. Sometimes the prison is not what happened to you. It is the story you refuse to revisit. That night he cried harder than he had in years. Not because the pain disappeared, but because understanding had finally entered the room. And understanding does something anger never can. It sets you free. The meaning of the story is this. This story is for anyone carrying an old wound, anyone holding onto a version of the past they have never questioned, anyone waiting for healing while keeping the door locked. Sometimes freedom does not come from getting answers. Sometimes it comes from being brave enough to look at things again, to revisit, to understand, to let go. Because the weight you have been carrying for years may no longer belong to you. If this story touched you, drop 100 in the comments and ask yourself, what letter in my life have I never opened?